All right, it's time to talk about 16th notes. 16th notes are super cool. They're fast usually. They're like energetic. They fly around. They're cool. So I left in the bass clef, you'll see I've got 4 quarter notes. Excuse me. I've got 4 quarter notes in the bass clef here. And then in the next measure, I've got eighth notes. You should recognize both of these kinds of notes. And I put all 16th notes. So 16th notes look a lot like eighth notes. They got the filled in thing, they got the stem, but they've got 2 bars across the top. And if I were to, for instance, delete this guy, you would see that it's like they've got 2 ribbons that fall down if you were to cut them, okay? So the whole thing about 16th notes is they've just got these 2 things apart. Each bar that you add has sort of have the note value. So we've got quarter notes 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 of them would fit into this measure, as you can see, because we have 4 quarter notes per measure, as indicated by our time signature, which we know so much about now. And above there, you'll see we've got all these 16th notes, and the computer has automatically not continued to connect. It just groups them into beats. So it's like, okay, these 4 16th notes, that would fit into like 1 quarter note. So we're gonna put a little space here and make it easy for the person reading to sort of know, okay, that's in the first beat. Here's the second beat of the measure. Here's the third beat. Here's the 4th beat, or you might say the 4th quarter note value, or whatever works for you. And the same here, you still have that separation. So the computer program has already tried to make it easy for you by sort of giving you a visual way of quickly seeing where the beat is in the measure. So again, we can see that we can fit 4 16th notes into the space of 1 quarter. So if we were previously going 1, 2, 3, 4, for this part we need to fit 4 though. So 1 da da da, 2 da da da, 3 da da da, 4 da da da, is way faster, right? And down here we've got 8th notes, so we would count this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and up here would be 1 da da da, 2 da da da, 3 da da da, 4 da da da. I sounded weird over here because I was going to explain something else. So remember how we changed our counting? We used to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I said, oh, wait a minute, count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and we're updating our counting again. And this time, take a look over here. Remember when our 1 was right on, if we were looking at the 8th notes, our 1 would be right here. And that's still going to be associated. We're still going to say 1 for the first 16th note that we see in this measure. And then if we look at the second note in our 8th note pattern, 1 and, you'll notice that the and is right above the 3rd note in the 16th measure. And that's good because visually that's exactly where they line up. So we're still going to say and for the 3rd note, and we're still going to say 2 for this note, and we're going to say and for this note. We're going to say 3 and 4 and, but you'll notice we have to jam a note in between all of that stuff. We have to put another note in between. This one is right above this space here. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to count it like this: 1 E and 2 E and come and finish it out with me. 3 E and 4 E and oh, and again, don't forget about that at the end or any of the other junk. Usually the 16th notes are a little bit easier to remember to do all that stuff for some reason. So whenever you see 16th notes, the note that's filled in with the 2 bars, you're thinking 1 E and That's how I want you to count those. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Alrighty, that's 16th notes.